And here we have our Protoss player, also went by Ryan Shield in Brood War, and is now in a pretty precarious position. Try saying that 5 times fast. He is
GSL Killer.
Fans in the audience, a lot of them in fact.
Not as many foreign fans in the round of 64, I've noticed, or maybe it's just the season. But here is a player who's going to be going and seeing some foreign fans at MLG. Claims to have the best Terran versus Protoss in the world, and right now I believe him. He is
Bomber.
Bomber.
There's some of the fans now.
Apparently has the same first name as a famous Korean soccer player on Manchester United.
Yeah, Coach Lee was, who was telling us about that? Was that Coach Lee?
One of the Korean commentators was talking about that.
Right, yeah. So I remember I kind of came in while you were talking to him and could hear the whole conversation.
Korean commentators, all very nice guys, by the way.
They are.
And very nice woman as well.
Yeah.
Lee Hyun-ju.
She's the best.
Is awesome.
Now, Killer actually didn't go Nexus first, which I'm not surprised by. I don't think it's really Killer's style to try to go super fast Nexus, try to play that macro-oriented style. He really likes to be a killer and be aggressive and try to pressure his way into a victory.
Now, that's another thing. We were actually talking with Casado, who was one of the Korean commentators yesterday, and he was kind of giving us some of his thoughts on their styles. And he pointed out, I hadn't actually realized this, but it makes some sense now that I think about it. Bomber, he doesn't like to go Banshees, apparently, and so that's something that that he thought that Killer would kind of latch onto and not bother making a robo very early and that kind of thing. So especially on Tal'Darim Altar, I think that means we're going to see, like, it's not going to be very harassment-ish. Looks like we're probably going to see like a macro-oriented game out of these guys, what I'm expecting.
Indeed, here comes the Probe, wants to see if the Bomber is taking the gas, but of course the Marine blocks. Probe has to run away. And in fact, Bomber is going to make his command center at the natural. Gasless expand coming out.
All right.
Unfortunately for Killer, he has no idea.
He may suspect.
He probably does suspect. Of course, this Tal'Darim Altar, and Bomber does like to play a very macro-oriented style.
Yeah. And Bomber's going to go ahead and put up a bunker at the front as well.
Yeah,
very smart move. When you do a fast expand like this, Probe going in. It's going to see the bunker, but not going to venture in further to try and see that command center. But the bunker out there that far is kind of an indication of a command center anyway.
Yeah, most likely. Otherwise, the bunker would be at the choke point beyond the natural. Much easier to defend at that location.
Yeah.
I think Songho, most likely. Killer. Keep calling him Songho. I think he'll probably just make a Nexus from here.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. He's just still on 1 gas, actually, so that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And that second command center almost up for Bomber.
And there's the Nexus.
There we go.
Well, at this point, you know, in the game, Killer is behind a little bit because his opponent went for a really fast expansion. He can't put on any pressure. And sometimes that's kind of like I wouldn't say it's a build order loss. I mean, when I say loss, I mean it's a disadvantage. But there are things that he can do because he does have his gases up faster. He may opt to double expand, possibly try to harass using a Warp Prism.
That would be good.
Although that's very rare. We don't see that very often.
I would love to see
I would love to see Warp Prism. Or double expand, both of those.
Yeah, Warp Prisms are always
And
fun.
he is making robotics.
All right.
Just wants to get that up ASAP. And usually, in most cases, it's not a Warp Prism. It's actually just to get Colossi as fast as possible. Also to get the Observers out for vision.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, when I was talking about how he doesn't need to get the Robo, I meant like he doesn't need to get it super fast in case of a Banshee rush because he doesn't necessarily expect that. It's always good just in case to get that Robo. Bomber does see the Robo, by the way, with that scan, so
that
nice scan for him.
That may trigger him to actually be aggressive because he knows, okay, you spent the money on the Robo, you've got a wide ramp, you don't have that many sentries out, and in fact, he is going to get a little bit aggressive, moving out on the map right now with those Marines. Very smart choice. Whenever if you're a Terran player, whenever you see the Robo this fast after a quick Nexus, you can always be aggressive because they're not going to have very many gateway units out, not very many sentries.
Yeah, and in fact, he really doesn't have very many gateway units out. I think he just has like, he's got 2 sentries, a Stalker, and a Zealot right now.
Yeah. So
barely any forces compared to over a dozen Marines. They are chilling in the middle, though. He's not actually going to attack with them at the moment.
just trying to posture himself, get in the middle of the map, be aggressive, take that map control, take the Zelnaga Watchtower, make his opponent feel like a little bit nervous about taking that possible third Nexus.
That's a good point. And just Observer coming out. Wants to see what Bomber's up to. See what's going on in there. Is the Observer flying across the map. And it's going to pretty much see normal stuff going on for Bomber. Just starting Stim, by the way. +1 weapons is very close to finish, though. I like that move. Protosses lately have been doing a lot more fast upgrades, chrono boosting it out. And
my 8 p.m. tab on my screen is like stuck on.
I'm like talking about Bomber strategy, and like Wolf's over here like chuckling to himself at the APM tag. Both players playing with pretty high APMs right now, hovering around 200 for the most part. That's 200 Starcraft 2 APM. Anyway, what was I talking about before?
I actually don't know, but the Observer is going to come up here and check. And back at home, we've got a starport going up.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say that Protosses are getting early upgrades, so it's becoming more important for Terrans to get early upgrades to keep up, otherwise they fall behind.
Right. So I can't get the APM stuff off my screen, so I can see the production tab, but it's so strange. Because they changed the music hotkey back. Oh, I think he fixed it. Yeah, Moltrap's a hero. He fixed my APM tab. It's gone now.
I'm a master at observing.
But either way, Bomber getting that fast reactor is actually making Vikings out of it. Which is pretty smart, given that he knows his opponent got that quick Robo. Smart to get those out, just to deal with that first Colossus, or to already have the Vikings present.
To be honest, I'm a little surprised he didn't go for 2 medevacs first. You almost always see him go
Normally
for those medevacs early so they can charge up energy. But yeah, it's going to be good to have those Vikings, though.
And makes the 2 Vikings, gets medevacs out in case it's that one first Colossus push, because you do see that every now and then. It's hard to hold sometimes. And it looks like both players actually breaking their rocks, preparing to take third bases. Forge going up for Killer. He's actually getting his Thermal Lance immediately as well.
And that's always a good idea to just break those rocks down regardless.
Yeah.
Because if you think you might be going into a battle soon, after that battle, when you really want to take that third, is when you don't have an army to take out the rocks. So you want to take out the rocks when you have the chance.
Yeah, whenever your army's just sitting there, make it go to work. You don't want a lazy army.
No, man.
He's actually getting +1 weapons before armor, and I'll tell you why, Moltrap.
Tell me why.
It's because he's getting Colossi, which do AoE damage. If you have a lot of AoE units, and your Forge is a little bit late, it's really important to get the +1 attack first, because it makes your Colossus that much stronger, because the Colossus is hitting multiple units.
That is an excellent point. Yeah, it's kind of like the 2 different ways that Protosses are going these days. They've got that, like with weapons, Mass Colossus, or if you see him making more Zealots, then they'll go for the armor so the Zealots last longer. And did he just kill? He killed the critter, man. Oh my gosh, Killer.
Actually, yeah, last game I noticed he killed the Scantipede on Belshire Beach. I didn't say anything about it because it wasn't on camera, but he killed the Scantipede and I saw it. Brutal. It's bad luck to do that, actually.
It is.
Killer actually has 2 observers inside of Bomber's base, so he's very aware of everything that Bomber is doing. It's always a good idea to do that.
Yeah, those of you that watch the GOM Classic Brood War tournaments know just how unlucky it is to kill critters on GOMTV. Because when you kill the Panda Bear guy, you lose 100% of the time.
That's actually true.
And we got a drop coming in here for Bomber, though.
Tiny fake drop, too. It only has 2 Marines in it.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just kind of a distraction. I think he knows the timing. He knows the timing of when Killer's moving out, so he's trying to draw his forces back.
That's really cute.
But it doesn't really... He gets in and scouts with both of those Marines. That's really nice. It actually draws Killer back.
That was like a scan for 100 minerals only, man. He's like, I'm just gonna burn
he's even gonna kill 2 probes.
Oh, wow. Is he gonna get a 3rd probe? Dude, Killer turns around, abandons that Marine, and is like, oh, wait, oops. Has to chase it down with probes.
Gets 4 kills.
That Marine has 4 kills on it.
Marine, yeah, gets 4 kills and turns Songho's army around. Songho actually was thinking about pushing, wanted to put some pressure on, and he actually was in a great position to do so. Those 2 Marines pulled him back. Huge mistake by Killer. Losing the probes, pulling his army back, and now he's looking like he's taking that 3rd base.
Man, that's gotta suck for the family of that other Marine. Like, he's a hero too, man, but all the spotlight's gonna be on that 2nd Marine. They're like, oh man, he like killed 4 probes and scouted the entire main base, and they're like, well, our guy also killed 1 probe.
Yeah, and he got dropped on top of Zealots. He was braver. Killer slamming down a ton of gateways. In fact, I think he's gone up to about 8 gates now. In fact, he has. The scary thing is that Bomber has 10 Vikings out right now, and the main brunt of Killer's army is 5 Colossus. And 5 Colossus is scary, but if you have 10, 12 Vikings, you take those out really fast.
10 Vikings with what's soon to be +1 air weapons.
Very true, and he's continuing to make Vikings as well. And with the map architecture here, it's actually really easy to pick off Colossi. So although Killer's army looks really scary right now, if Bomber engages here pretty shortly, he may have trouble dealing with it. In fact, he has almost no Stalkers in this army. Oh, there they are. They just moved out of the way. I was like, where did Stalkers go, Moletrap?
Yeah, no, that's actually a smart move of him to keep them separate. In fact, I think they're on a separate hotkey, so he can move them around, and in moments he's going to have Blink upgraded. Yeah, so now he can blink them around to try and take out those Vikings, because if he does take out the Vikings, those Colossi are going to just own the crap out of all of that bio.
And have you noticed, actually, once he saw the Vikings, he's headed straight to Templar. He's got Storm on the way. He's not making any more Colossi. So once the Colossi die, the Vikings are just kind of float around and be completely useless, taking up supply, a very expensive unit, less medevacs out. And when you have no medevacs and your opponent has Storm, it gets pretty hard to deal with.
It's a smart move. Whoa, Bomber just
scanned and killed an Observer and accidentally targeted one of his own Marines, I think.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he actually did it to get out an extra. Yeah, he did it to get one more Ghost out. He wanted to get 3 Ghosts out, so he targeted his own unit as well as killed an Observer.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he's maxed out. Both players maxed, actually.
Yeah, so 3 Ghosts are going to be out, and that's going to be good against, obviously, the Sentries. If he can land some hits on those Sentries, it's going to be super good.
There's 4 Templar out. 6 Templar out now, actually. Storm just finished. A few of those do have enough energy for Storms.
Yeah, so that'd be obviously actually an even bigger target for the EMPs is those Stormers. Stormtroopers, exactly. And Killer.
Bomberoo's repeatedly killing his own units to get more Vikings out. He's trading Marines left and right. And I think it's actually really smart.
Makes sense.
He's just getting a stronger composition. He knows that this game may come down to this one fight. And for that reason, he wants to make sure he has the perfect unit composition.
Yeah, he does have a lot of Vikings. And the thing is they're going to be able to take out those... I'm trying to think, like, sometimes in, like, Zerg versus Protoss, you overmake Corruptors and you end up with too many after the battle and they're, like, not doing anything. But if you have too many Vikings, it's actually alright a lot of time because, A, you take out the Colossus so fast that your bio lasts longer and actually does more damage as a result, and B, they can land.
That's true.
They can land and shoot stuff.
Yeah, Corruptors, they can't just become Broodlords suddenly.
Well, sometimes they can.
Not suddenly, though.
Not suddenly.
All right, here comes the fight, I think. Oh, Songho splitting his units really well. Bomber having actually 20 Vikings,
Whoa.
3 Ghosts, 30 Mirage, and 20 Marines versus 5 Colossi and 6 High Templar, and then scattered, of course, Zealots and Stalkers. Really nice splitting, though, by Songho of his units. Songho taking a 4th base right now, and, in fact, he made a Stargate. I wonder if we're going to see a Fleet Beacon. He may actually make a Mothership.
Yeah, man.
I can't see any other reason why.
Watch out, Vikings!
Oh, the Ghosts as well! Cloaking to get away.
Cloaking those Ghosts to get away.
3 weapons on the way for those Vikings, Moletrap. Those Vikings are going to be really scary.
And I think
scant. There's no Observer.
I think Cloaking is going to trigger him to attack. Here he comes. EMP going down on a lot of stuff, but I don't think he got all the Templar. Some force fields going up, some Storms as well.
He
the Vikings taking everything out so quickly.
He doesn't have Zealot charge. The Zealots don't have speed, so they're actually being completely useless in this fight. And now that they're all cleaned up, I think Bomber is going to be able to crush through this army quite easily. Has to dodge a few Storms, though. Nice dodges on those Storms.
And he actually landed those Vikings in the midst of that battle and lost every single one of them.
Every last Viking. He's got 1 Viking left on the map.
I wouldn't be surprised if Killer actually made another Colossus or 2 at that point. I'm not sure if it'd be worth it because, well, Bomber is actually making some more Vikings right now. But that was actually not as well played as it could have been by Bomber. He just kind of threw away his Vikings. He needed to fight with his Vikings and his bio at the same time, but he just kind of like let them each die individually.
Now, Songho still hasn't gotten charged. He is starting a Fleet Beacon right now, so I thought that was probably what he had. He's got a lot of bases. He did make that Stargate, so he wants to get that Fleet Beacon out, but he needs to get Zealot legs. That's so important, and I can't believe he hasn't realized that. He's going to push forward here again, but without that charge, it's very difficult to engage against this Marauder heavy army. Oh, trying to bring up the ramp is a terrible idea.
EMP on everything. Takes out all of the Sentry energy, all the Templar, no storms, no force fields, and these Marauders with a few medevacs are just reigning supreme, killing everything. And you're exactly right, Wolf. That was a horrible move to make, trying to charge up that ramp. It could have worked to be at storms, but beautiful EMPs happened.
Actually, back at home, Songhu has 15 High Templar just sitting there. Now, I don't know if he plans on making a lot of Archons with those, or if he just really wants to spread them out like crazy and have Infinity Storms, because he practically has Infinity Storms worth of energy back at home. And it's like a little attack over here trying to hit this Nexus, but is repelled by Killer.
Yeah, now Killer has a lot of money in the bank right
Killer
now.
has almost the entire map, actually. Oh, the entire bottom half of the map, anyway. As far as what Bomber has, he's got one planetary up at the top right, but he has significantly less base and significantly less income than Killer.
Whoa, did he just... Oh, whoa. Okay, he just warped in another round of Templar, I believe. No, those are Zealots. But there is a nuke almost completed for Bomber. I can't even speak. I'm so excited about this nuclear missile. And he's just finished 3-3, or 3-3 is about to finish for his bio as well. Planetary Fortress under attack over here. He needs to repair that, but a Ghost is in play.
Oh man, is he gonna nuke it?
Oh, he's mass repairing that Planetary. He is moving some forces down there to intercept him, to save that Planetary as well. And Stalker's just gonna blink out.
Well, those Archons are targeting down the SCVs. He's lost so many SCVs from that attack. Ghost hasn't nuked yet, actually has no cloak energy left, so can't cloak himself, but he is in a pretty good spot.
Does he have three? Oh, never mind, he has 3 weapons.
+3 armor is on the way.
Oh, I must have seen +3 ship weapons and thought it was the armor or something. Just saw 2 red. Just saw 2 red upgrades.
Still doesn't have Zealot charge.
That is really bad.
And here comes Bomber, takes out this Nexus. Nothing's mining there, but a small victory taking out that Nexus.
Yeah, and Killer's out of position to protect his other Nexus, but so these forces are going to come in, but a round of warp ins is going to make it fine.
Looks like he will hold it. He's got to realize he needs that charge. It's so important. It's almost like he's just trying to win without it for some reason. Here come the Ghosts, sniping a High Templar. No Observer nearby.
Nice. Yeah, man, he just scans and taking out Templar left and right.
Nice
random storming.
Oh, the storms got all the Ghosts. If you have that many Templar, it would have been better to not snipe an EMP. There are like 8 Templar on a ball. I can't believe he didn't EMP those.
Yeah, that was, well, they could have just charged back up again. But, ladies and gentlemen, there is a mothership in production.
There is a mothership in production.
We may see a game with a nuke and a mothership.
In the same game? No way.
And this is just the first game of the day.
Second game.
After that one that happened. I meant first match. First match of the day.
First match.
Oh,
that's
my
very
goodness.
true. Now, Bomber is actually starting to kind of run out of money on his bases, and he doesn't have a, like real 6th base, whereas Songho's got a lot of bases mining. They still have tons of minerals. Bomber actually has a ton of money in the bank,
He's got 4K in the bank, so he's okay for now. And he's got a lot of orbitals in his main. We just saw the nuclear launch
detected.
Is happening. Where is it happening? At the right side of the map. There it is on the only real new mining base of Killer. And he does realize it and runs his probes out of the way. Meanwhile, it's the battle in the middle. Ghosts involved. Storms go down. And the Ghosts die without doing anything. So that was actually a really bad battle for Bomber. And almost nothing accomplished. The Ghost is going to run in and try and pick off some probes manually. But no, he's got another nuke.
Oh, man. And this time he might not notice it because it's on top of the Nexus. If he doesn't see that dot, he may lose, well, a significant amount of probes. And actually, there's a Marauder attacking, so he might be distracted.
Oh, he's going to try and bait the army in! Ah! Oh! Almost!
Hey, Bulltrap, have you ever blinked through a nuke?
That was amazing, actually. And the Marauders do go down. Nuke doing minimal damage, killed some probes, though. Meanwhile, a drop over here at the side. The Blink Stalkers are just all over this mess.
And Killer has a mothership, but does not have Zealot charge.
Oh my gosh, that is... I am really perplexed by that, to be honest with you. He's had a Twilight Council for ages.
The mothership's actually just hanging down at one of those bases. I think he's using it defensively, Moltrap, but here's another engagement.
Oh.
Nice storms. Imagine what it'd be like if he had Zealot charge, though.
Some good EMPs, though, make it so he can't continue storming that army back.
2 nukes are out as well, so he's got those. He's got the possibility of using those.
Wow.
And I like that he's using the mothership defensively. He's using it so he can use defensive recall at that base. If a drop comes, he can recall some of his forces back to defend it.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think that's what he's planning to do to use it for. Otherwise, it's kind of silly to just have it hanging back there. But imagine how much more map control Killer could really have if he had that Zealot charge. Every battle that he's winning, his opponent can retreat from because he doesn't have that charge.
Yeah. And by the way, look at this. Bomber has so much money. He's upgrading the hit points for his buildings, the armor for his buildings right now. Throwing away SCVs because he's got so many orbitals in his main that he can just keep dropping mules. In fact, the top right base is just all mules right now. He's got 6,000 minerals in the bank right now. Killer is
just
so rich.
Mules.
And
nuclear launch detected.
Where is? I think it's. Is it in the middle of the map?
No, same Nexus as last time. Bottom right of the map.
Bottom right. And he's having to nuke these cannons to clear him out of the way.
Oh,
and
the probes are
running in.
into it. No, not quite.
And oh my gosh, a bunch of cloaked ghosts in the middle, getting chased back. Does he? Oh, he does have an observer there. That's why. And that Nexus taking 3 nuke shots.
Yeah, he keeps getting his shields back. That's a tough Nexus. Ghost wants to nuke again. He's just waiting for his cloak to come back. This is a crazy game, Motrap. Both players being repeatedly maxed out. No real decisive battles. The Mothership has joined the main army, though.
Yeah. And I think at this point, I would like to see Bomber doing some MVP style, putting planetaries everywhere. And he's actually nuking, doing a tactical nuke in the middle of the map. And does he see the red dot? He is moving his forces out of the way. Okay. Uses that opportunity to charge in and take control. He cancels the nuke. He was just using it to move his army out of the way so he could gain control of the open area.
Exactly.
That was beautiful.
That was a really nice tactical nuke.
And
both these players just kind of beating their chests like gorillas, trying to say, oh, don't attack me, I'm pretty scary. And they're like, oh, you're pretty scary, I'll back off. And they try to show how scary they are. Like, look, I've got nukes, look, I've got a mothership, but none of them want to fight. And I really feel like Killer could have been ahead if he had that Zealot charge and he's still not researching it. I swear I'm going to ask him after these games today. I'm going to be like, why didn't you get that? I don't understand.
He's got so
He's
many
got to have a
ghosts,
reason
and he
for it.
needs
It's no longer a forgetful thing.
Well, that's hot. Force is coming in the middle. And gets forced back a little bit.
Takes out one ghost, that's it.
That's right.
No, neither player really wants to engage because this one engagement may decide the entire game. Both players starting to get so many minerals. Nice EMP hits everything except the mothership. Actually, even hit the mothership. There's just so much hit points. Vortexing those units.
Whoa, vortexes, and runs a bunch of zealots into the vortex as well. That's going to be an interesting thing to Oh, he's going to nuke on top of the... Wait, where is the nuke? I thought he was nuking the vortex for a second. Same place in the bottom right. And that was kind of funny. Bunch of zealots and this nuke. Songo was like, all right, let's do the same dance as before. You nuke, I run my probes out. It's cool.
And 4 more command centers on the way. 4 Bomber, he's just making command centers. He's actually just making so many orbitals. I think he's going to throw away all of his SCVs here in a second so he can get a better army.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
And continuing to nuke that same base over and over and over again. Just making sure the probes aren't money there. Hey, it's working. He's got so much money.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not do that?
I guess, yeah. And that is slowly taking out the hit points.
Oh, and here comes the huge battle. Nice EMPs hitting almost everything. Storm's going off.
Oh, his units are so damaged. Bomber only has a few medevacs. It's not enough to heal up all those marauders. He stims again. He's able to kite away from those non-charged zealots so easily. But he's down on hit points. Another couple storms could take out that whole army. But he's throwing in for the kill right now. Trying to polish off those zealots and stalkers while there's no Templar around.
Yeah, and during that battle, about 8 Templar and 10 or 12 zealots were warped in. Like, at that moment, he's got so much money.
Wow.
Bomber is, all of his army, though, has, almost every single one of his units has less than 20 hit points left. He's got to get those healed up. And that Nexus is still barely alive. I'm surprised he hasn't done anything about it. But he's got so much money, it's almost like he doesn't care. He has actually starting to run out of money a lot faster, though, than Bomber is. Bomber at 5,000 minerals. Songo finally spending all of his money buying a ton of cannons.
Wow.
Even getting his shield upgrades out right now.
He's got, we'll see that Killer has almost 5,000 gas in the bank is the thing. So that's why I'm not surprised to see him using so many Templar. But yeah, he's been like warping in tons and tons of zealots. So he's out of minerals. The zealots still don't have charge.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really confused by that.
I think he has done it on purpose, and I'll talk a little bit about why later. But it looks like this Zealot is going to do a little bit of harassment. I think he wants to kind of figure out where he wants to hit, if he wants to do any sort of sneaky attacks. There's so many Marauders in this army. Check that out. That is like So many Marauders. I can't even count them. 52 Marauders.
Wow, that was fast counting.
I know. I actually just pressed the U key. It's the best way to count in StarCraft 2. So Killer does have level 1 shields. Level 2 shields are on the way. 3 upgrades.
So you think he doesn't have charge because he doesn't want his Zealots to get like too far away from his army or something?
I think that's the reason why. And I'll tell you why, because when you fight, sometimes if the opponent's army is kind of far away, your Zealots do get in a funky spot. A nuke at the same exact spot. Actually, this time he's targeting the probes rather than the Nexus. But again, Killer spots it, pulls his probes away. But that Nexus is getting quite low on hit points.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to kill it, but it might. And he's nuking another base at the same time. We missed the explosion, but it took off all the shields and more hit points on the Nexus. Another one's going to land. He doesn't move the probes on that one this time. And probes die. The trees get burned. Wow.
Here's the thing. There's only 30 probes left for Killer, and he actually doesn't have... Oh, throwing away some Zealots to try to kill that planetary. Not really going to work out.
Well, maybe it's like throwing away SCVs. He wants more...
Yeah, he may be
better, I guess.
The thing is, he doesn't have that many minerals left, and so his bases are actually important.
Ooh.
Nice. Tries to hit those ghosts.
Oh, some more cloak ghosts coming in. He's sniping the Templar this time. And moving in with the Marauders. I don't think he has any storms left. These Marauders are going to do so much damage without any storms on top of them. He's able to kite these Zealots so easily. And Killer has, I don't know where his army is, but it's not here in the middle of the map. And a couple storms finally do go off.
Yeah, I think Killer is actually going to die here. There are barely any anti-air units, so the Mothership reigns supreme here. Oh, if you can get those Templar over there and storm on top of the army. He's not sending the Templar
he ran his
over.
army into the vortex.
He could have sent the Templar over there and stormed on top of the army when it came out.
What is he doing? Oh, now they pop out. There's the storms.
Oh, the carnage. So many units dying, Moletrap. No anti-air, you can't kill the Mothership.
Oh, that was painful. Oh, that was so painful to watch.
But guess what? Moletrap, Killer's out of money.
Yeah.
And Bomber has like 7,000 resources in the bank. He can't really make anything.
Bomber's currently making like 30 units at once.
Exactly.
He's got like 50 supply coming out in a moment. He just dropped, he dropped down to 110. 10 seconds ago he's at 110, now he's at 176 supply. Killer, still at 96 supply.
Yeah, he is looking like he is in rough shape, and at this point, I think that Bomber realizes he just needs to add a few more Marines in his composition. He's doing so he can kill the Mothership. And then once the Mothership's gone, he's just going to keep throwing units at it because he knows his opponent doesn't have an economy. He's got ghosts running around the map all the time. He knows, okay, you don't have that much mining. I know your army's really small. I'm going to try to kill you.
Yeah, it's a little puzzling. I mean, Killer wanted the biggest army possible, so he like threw away a bunch of probes, but I think he did too much. And hold that thought, blind storming to stop these ghosts from doing enough damage, but he does snipe all the Templar and eats.
Double EMPs on the Mothership.
Mass EMPs on the Mothership.
I think this may be the end for Killer. Starting to fall apart here. Some good storms run the army away, but he's running out of energy. Archon's doing some good damage, but they're falling quickly. It looks like the Mothership may go down.
And a single Viking pecking away at that unshielded Mothership. Mass storms going off, but I think at this point Bomber's like, I don't even care. I've got so much stuff, it doesn't even matter. And he's actually going to go in here to the bottom and take out this Nexus as well, stopping what little mining Killer has done.
Yeah, I heard a nuke, but I can't find it. It must not be it. Oh, I don't actually see it anywhere. I don't think he may have canceled it. Either way, it's just EMPing everything. Running up here with these Marauders, there's so many units. Even these cannons aren't going to be enough. In fact, there's only one Artosis pylon powering those cannons.
Yeah, he's going to sweep in here and finally take out that Nexus that has been nuked like 7 times.
Yeah, there's another drop. He's killing basically the last 2 mining bases of Killer at this point. Killer does not have enough units to hold. Killing some of the units. Another Mothership comes out. Oh, it's the same Mothership. It's still alive. Keeps that Nexus alive temporarily.
And
will not save
targeting down the Nexus. It goes down, and Marauders charging in. They're going to target down the Immortal Nexus. Finally dies. And I don't believe Killer is mining right now.
Yeah, 3,300 minerals per minute income right now for Bomber. 20 minerals per minute income for Killer, which actually just turned into 0.
Yeah, he's so Killer, our round of 8 Code S Protoss player, former Brood War pro, is going to go down to Bomber here, is what it's looking very much like.
Bomber staying true to his name, dropping the nukes.
That's right, man. taking him out in style. Look at that, all these mules. He's got 2 bases fully saturated with mules.
Oh! That hurts my eyes, Moltrap.
Mass scans, manner scans going down, mass EMPs on the Archon.
Oh, he's just going to throw his army away. He's that confident. He's like allowing his opponent to Archon toilet him. He doesn't even care.
He's kiting with like 1.
This is going to be disgusting, Moltrap.
Oh, doesn't
Too
even
many
matter.
units, it doesn't even matter.
There's the
GG.
GG. Killer finally leaves Bomber's game, and Bomber, who fought so hard in Code A with the sole intent of getting into the Super Tournament, is now advancing to the round of 32, and he's got to be so excited.
That was quite an exciting game. I'm excited, to say the least.
I am
Moltrap.
flabbergasted. That's what I am.
He looks so calm in there in his booth right now, too. He's just packing up his stuff.
Wow. I think that might be the most nukes we've ever seen in a single GSL game.
That may be.
And like most of them are on 1 Nexus, which survived until Marauders finally took it out.
So what is up with the no Zealot charge? Okay, so when you have Zealot charge and you storm behind your opponent's army, that means that when your opponent backs up, you know, to dodge the storms, your Zealots are going to be chasing them. So you can't like run forward behind the storm. You like kind of storm behind the army's trying to back up, and the Zealots are chasing them. And the storms hit them, so you either get hit by Zealots or you get hit by storms. But if you have no charge, your Zealots just kind of don't ever catch up to the army. I think maybe he's trying to do it so the Zealots don't run too far forward, because if you try to engage, okay, here's the situation that could sometimes happen. You're trying to fight your opponent. You put the got some music playing. Are we taking a? Oh, we are going to take a 2-minute break. So I'll talk more about it later, guys.
Take a couple minutes to contemplate. We'll
Yeah,
see you in a
cut
second.
me off on this. So 2-minute break.
Drive up, take my girl to have a nice day. Shit was right, so I let her hang my way. You look cute, girl, what you wanna do, girl? Drive to my house, cause it's only me and you, girl. I'm checking her out, she had to put a swag.